You're listening to the Fierce Fatty podcast. I am your host, Victoria Wellesby. This is episode 47, and we're talking about the 3 phases to move through that get you to a place of body love. Let's do it!
Perfect.
I'm Victoria Wellesby, TEDx speaker, best-selling author and fat activist. I have transformed my life from hating my body with desperately low self-esteem to being a courageous and confident, fierce fatty who loves every inch of this jelly. Society teaches us living in a fat body is bad, but what if we spent less time, money and energy on the pursuit of thinness and instead focused on the things that actually matter, like if pineapple on pizza should be outlawed, or if the mullet was the greatest haircut of the 20th century. So, how do you stop negative beliefs about your fat body controlling your life? It's the Fierce Fatty podcast. Let's begin.
Hello. Welcome to this episode, Fatty. I am so pleased to have you here. I am in my sister's, at my sister's place today. And so if the sound is a little bit different, it's because I don't have my mic plugged in. I don't have it here with me. So if it sounds a bit weird, then that's why. Also, I need to... the USB, both of the USB ports on my laptops appear to be either broken or damaged, so I have to buy a new laptop or get them fixed or something. Probably time to buy a new laptop anyway, because this MacBook that I have is like 6 years old, probably, yeah, about 6 years old. Anyway, so podcasting problems. So hopefully the sound here is okay for you. So in today's episode, I'm actually going to be doing a deep dive on the stuff that I teach inside my course, Fierce Fatty Academy. And so the 3 steps that I teach inside the program. And so I'm going to be sharing them with you today. Incredible. And how you can move through those 3 phases, why they're important, and how you can basically get to a place where you don't feel like a big bag of shit. But before that, listen up here now. I love me a movie. I love movies. I love films. I love documentaries. I love TV shows. I love, all of that type of stuff. And one of my it's in the top 10, top 5 favorites is Kill Bill. Kill Bill, specifically Kill Bill Volume 1, but, we'll take them as a whole, both of them together. I like Kill Bill. And I love thinking about, I love a good analogy, metaphor. Listen up here. I've Googled analogy and metaphor to find out which is the right one. And I still don't know. It's one of the 2. Someone can maybe tell me what the difference is. They're so closely related that they're basically the same, but they're not. So because I love stories and I love analogies and metaphors, I see comparisons in a lot of things out there. So Kill Bill being one of my favorite movies, I'm like, this is just like this. And this is what we can learn from this. This is so important. I need to tell the world. I did one with The Devil Wears Prada. And so now I want to share with you how Kill Bill is something that we can learn from it. And it's not learning how to be an assassin. So, or maybe it is, who knows? So I want to share that with you. Okay, so what can the movie Kill Bill teach us about loving our fat body? It's a funny one, but it actually can teach us a lot. So, spoiler alert, I'm going to be talking about Kill Bill. I'm not going to be revealing the whole plot of both the movies, but if you're like desperate to watch it and you haven't seen it, there's not really going to be that many spoilers, but maybe don't listen. I don't know. But if you haven't seen it, what the heck? Go and watch both those movies. So the synopsis is the main character, called the Bride, also known as Beatrix Kiddo, played by Uma Thurman. She is a part of the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad. And in the movie, you see, first thing, is that she is shot by Bill, the leader of the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad, and her boyfriend, and he shoots her to kill her. What he doesn't know is that the shot in the head doesn't kill her, and she's actually in a coma for 4 years. And when she wakes up from the coma, she seeks revenge on the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad because they tried to kill her. They killed all of her family and everyone she knows because she left the assassination squad. And she was an assassinator? Yeah? She assassinated people. Editing Victoria here. It's so annoying hearing me saying assassinator. It's assassin. Lord. So to do this, to get revenge, she wants to go and kill everyone in this squad. And to do this, she needs to level up her skills and level up her resources and her the weapon that she needs, because these people are obviously trained killers, and the samurai sword that she has isn't strong enough because a couple of members of the assassination squad have this really special sword that's made from this really hardcore steel and will defeat her sword. And so, some of the assassination squad are easier to kill because they don't have the sword and maybe they're not as skilled as she is, but some are harder to kill. And so she, the Bride, goes to Japan and she goes and gets the same sword that a couple of members of the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad have. And it's actually made by someone called Hattori Hanzo. So she gets this Hattori Hanzo sword, the finest ever that he's ever made, and she also has tons of training behind her from legendary martial arts teacher Pai Mei. So she has the sword, she has all the training, and she's in Japan, and so she gets revenge first on one of the members of the squad, Oren Ishii, played by Lucy Liu. So Oren Ishii is the leader of the Tokyo Yakuza and is an elite assassin herself. Not only that, she also has this gang of bodyguards called the Crazy 88. And so the Bride goes to this restaurant club type place where Oren Ishii is, and she goes to try and kill Lucy Liu, and the Crazy 88 turn up and she kills all of those, and they're called 88 because there's 88 of them. And so all of these trained bodyguards are there fighting the Bride, and she has this Hattori Hanzo, she has the training from Pai Mei, and she kills them. She kills the bodyguard, the personal bodyguard of Oren Ishii, the schoolgirl Gogo Yubari, and after killing all these people, probably 100 people, she then kills Oren Ishii. So that's just like one part of the movie. There's two movies, right? So what does all this have to do with loving your fat body? Well, I want to imagine that you are the Bride. You are Uma Thurman, aka Beatrix Kiddo. And the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad is diet culture and fat phobia. And the reason that the Bride was shot and all of her family were killed was because she left the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad. And to fight back against the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad, she had to be trained by Pai Mei. She had to get the Hattori Hanzo sword. She had to master the 5-point palm exploding heart technique. This is one of my favourite films, by the way, so this is why I know so much about it. She had to do all of this because the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad were smart, were skilled, were relentless. And the same thing is true about diet culture and fat phobia. So a massive mistake people make when trying to leave diet culture and fat phobia behind is that they won't arm themselves with the tools that they need to survive the onslaught that will happen and that is always happening from diet culture and fat phobia. They don't stand a chance. And it's like if the bride went to try and kill Oren Ishii and she just had a pocket knife and no training. Like, she'd be dead in a minute. And when I say people, they struggle to have the tools and to have the training, all that type of stuff, they struggle because they do things. This is the kind of things that people will do and the mistakes that people will make. And this is how they are, quote unquote, arming themselves against this assassination squad, which is fat phobia and diet culture. So they'll do things like read a book, follow a few fat people on social media, try to remember to quieten the voices in their head that tells them that they're ugly. Try to remember to do something about it. Maybe one time throw out something that doesn't fit anymore. Maybe one time buy something that does fit. Think about maybe setting a boundary with someone who talks about diets and how much they hate their fat body, but then don't set the boundary. Listen to a few episodes of a podcast or watch this program one time. So that is what people do. And it's not going to help you fight diet culture and fat phobia, because diet culture and fat phobia are not playing around. It is aggressive. It is in your face. It comes at you with hundreds of thousands of millions of messages telling you that you aren't good enough. And this stuff has hideous consequences. This onslaught from diet culture and fat phobia has hideous consequences, including death. So it's serious stuff. Like, it is not playing around. It is out to get you. It is out to make you feel like shit. It is out to destroy your life. And people make the mistake of thinking, oh, if I read a book one time, then I'm going to be good. Like, I'm going to be armed and equipped to deal with this assassination squad, which is diet culture and fat phobia. So if you try to leave diet culture and don't get serious in how you're going to battle it, then it's like you are the bride going to kill Oren Ishii with a pocket knife. It's like going up against a Deadly Viper Assassination Squad with, one of those toy swords or something. You need that Hattori Hanzo sword. You need to be trained by Pai Mei. You need to learn about the exploding 5-point palm, the 5-point palm exploding heart technique. Then you'll stand a chance of making it out. You have to be aggressive. You have to learn how to fight against this stuff because it's insidious. It is aggressive. It never stops. And you have to become like the bride, Uma Thurman, aka Beatrix Kiddo, and become a badass diet culture and fat phobia assassin. Kill that shit off. Get your revenge. Be like the bride. Okay, so are you, if you've not watched Kill Bill, are you going to go and watch it now? Have I ruined it for you? Or maybe if you've seen it before, you're going to go watch it again, or maybe you don't like it. Some people don't like the film. But Obviously, it's directed by Quentin Tarantino, and he is. I don't like him. Or we don't like him. Why do people who maybe create good stuff turn out to be knobs? Just please don't let Tom Hanks turn out to be a knob, or Will Smith. If Will Smith and Tom Hanks turn out to be dickheads, then I'm going to be very upset. They probably are. We all are. We're all knobs in some way, but I hope they're not like serious knobs. Anyway, so now let's get into the 3 phases. And this is really important and powerful stuff. So what we're going to be covering is the 3-step process to love your fat body, why these steps are important, why people don't do these steps, so don't feel bad if you're not doing these things, and what happens in your life when you implement these steps. So let's get into it. Okay, so there are 3 steps to follow. Now, the first one are 3 phases. The first phase is called explore. Now, I like to keep it super simple so that you can remember what it is, instead of like long, big titles. And this is this framework is something that I use inside my course, Fierce Fatty Academy. This is exactly what I teach inside there. Now, step number 1 is explore. So when you're in the explore phase, what you're going to be doing is understanding why you believe your fat body isn't okay. You're going to understand what you're not doing in life because of what you believe about yourself. And you explore how your current beliefs are being supported in your life. So why this is important, this first step, explore. It's super important because people are making the same mistake over and over and over again. And so what people do is they'll do something to try and boost their confidence. And it worked temporarily, and then they'll just go back to feeling shit again. And then they'll try something and it'll work temporarily. They might have a little boost. Maybe they'll buy some new clothes, or maybe they, have some new experience, and temporarily they feel good. But then deep down, really, they don't. Or they're faking it till they make it, right? So what we're doing in Explore is we are taking everything away, stripping everything away. And imagine if you have a house. That house, the body love house, it's your house of self-esteem. It is rotten at the foundation, right? It is rotten at the roots. And so what we normally do is we try and zhuzh up the house by painting it a new color or getting some new furniture. But because the foundations are crumbling and they're rotten, that zhuzhing up is just pointless and doesn't work because the house is kind of falling down. It's not on a solid foundation. And so we have to strip everything back. We have to go to the foundations. We have to explore those foundations and understand what is going on. Why are these foundations so shaky? Why are they so flawed? What's happened here? What things have led this to becoming like this? And then once we've done that, we can root it all out, all of the rotten wood or whatever it is in there, and foundations. I don't know what's in foundations, like wood, cement, who knows. Obviously I don't build houses, but once we've got rid of it all, then we can put good stuff in there, good solid foundations, so that then you can rebuild that house. And it's not going to be like a roller coaster of emotions of being like feeling good, feeling shit, feeling even more shit, feeling a little bit better, feeling shit again. It's going to be a stable, little bit of undulations, but stable in the way that you feel about yourself, and obviously a big uptick on how you're feeling about yourself. So that is why it's really, really important. And you're going to be able to, when you do this, you're going to be able to stop making the same mistakes that derail your confidence. And our house, aka our self-esteem, will be rock solid instead of crumbling. And we're going to become super wise in this process. Imagine if you were a builder and someone took you along and showed you the foundations of a house and how it's built and what is good and what is bad and why things fall down. You're going to be more able to do it yourself. And so this is what we're doing here. And obviously we're not building a house, we're building things up in our minds. And so you're going to be so much wiser and so much more knowledgeable about you and what is important for you. And you're also going to build resilience when shit hits the fan. It's like that, what is it, the 3 pigs? And one house made of straw, one house made of wood, and one house made of bricks. It's like you're building a house with bricks. And when shit hits the fan, because it will, because you're a human being and we live in a world that hates fat people and is just entrenched in diet culture, when something happens, you see your aunt, your great aunt, and they're like, oh, you're fat, or whatever. Something like that happens. Instead of it being this traumatic, life-changing event, it'll be more like, oh, well, my great aunt is a bit of a fat phobe. Or, that wasn't fun. I'm not going to spend time with that person anymore. So resilience is the juicy stuff that we get from that. And without doing this, you are unable to truly build lasting confidence, because it's just building on top of something that's not stable, those unstable foundations. So it's really important to do this. Now, most people don't do this because they don't know that they need to. So they see advice online, or they see, positive quotes, and it'll be like, feel good, or dump your boyfriend, or whatever it is. And it's kind of like temporary goodness, and people don't know that you have to get to the foundations. Now you do. I'm telling you, you need to get to those foundations. And they don't have a roadmap. So if you don't know how to do it, then, it's literally like saying, if you're not a builder, hey, can you go build me a house? Just build those foundations of that house. You'd be like, what? But if someone gave you a roadmap, then you're more likely to be able to do it. And also, it can be difficult to know where to start. Like, if you're rebuilding stuff, like, do you dig a hole? Do you put foundations on, cement? Or, how do you know where to start? And also, people want to rush ahead. Like, people see this foundation building stuff as unnecessary or boring. They just want to rush ahead to the super feel good stuff without getting into the digging into the muck and the dirt and finding out what's really going on, because they want to do that, that stuff that's more sparkly and fun, like decorating the house or buying me furniture or whatever it is. So it makes sense. So don't feel bad if you don't do this, or this is how you feel, because most people don't do this, right? So a member of my Fierce Fatty Academy that has done this shared something with me, and I'm just going to read it out to you. So who's really worked hard at the explore phase in this process. So she says, hi everyone. So as promised, Victoria and myself, I'll be sharing my SMART goal. Basically, I'm single, but I've been thinking more recently to make myself available for matchmaking. The reason why I have chosen this as my SMART goal is because in the past, the issue has tied quite deeply with my feelings on my body image and my thoughts on my desirability. So this brings up a lot of fears. But today, I will be sending in the profile thingy I've filled out. And so in Fierce Fatty Academy, we do a lot of goal setting and so that we can achieve those things that we previously thought were not possible. And so this person has really dug in deep and understand why this has been an issue, and is rebuilding those foundations so that there can be a more rock solid process in dating, instead of making the same mistakes again, dating people who are not suitable and being with them for a couple of years and being like, oh, actually they're a massive dickhead, but because of my lower self-esteem, I struggled to see that, or I didn't think that I was worthy, etc., etc. Okay, so that is number 1 phase, explore. Number 2 is unleash. So what unleash is letting go of all diet bullshit and feeling free around your body and food, wrangling your limiting negative self-beliefs. Stepping into the version of you may have been too afraid to reveal, and finally saying fuck you to beauty ideals and believing it. So that is what we do in Unleash. Now, why this is important is because what this is all about, and what building confidence is really all about, is having and fostering deep self-compassion for the real you. For the version of you which is totally imperfect and probably very weird, and you think that is not suitable to show to the world. And because especially if you have a fat body, we want to show the world that we're so worthy in all these other ways. And it's very hard to show the real, authentic version of you. And so being able to show the real you, but also having deep self-compassion for you, the real you. And that is what confidence is. It's not this, going around being like, boo, 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 I'm amazing. Yo, fuck everyone else. I'm like the king of the world. It's just being like, do you know what? I have self-compassion for myself. So this is important because you're able to let go of the fucks that you've been giving about unimportant stuff. Like seriously unimportant stuff, like reducing your body size and shit like that. You're able to express yourself. And if you're able to express yourself, you're able to find self-fulfillment. And also no longer have negative or disordered a negative or disordered relationship with your body and with food. And what impact does that have on the world, on the world and your smaller community, on the people close to you and to you? What impact will all of that have? A lot. A big impact. It's amazing. Now, most people don't do this because their negative beliefs are so deeply ingrained that they think that it's not possible to change. Just not possible. And as well, they just don't know how. They don't know how to start. They try a few things, it doesn't work. And if they try some things and it doesn't work, then it helps solidify that belief that they can't do it, it's not possible for them. And then maybe they don't try more things because they think that they can't do it. And so it's like a vicious circle. Now, someone within my program, Fierce Fatty Academy, really embraced this unleash stage and shared with me, I'm going to read this out. Everything I've learned and put into practice has started to trickle down to my wife. And I think she's starting to realize she is worthy just as she is. That's a positive impact I'm really proud of. For myself, I feel much happier. I'm seeing myself in a different, much less judgmental light. And I say, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm so impressed with that accidental outcome. And she replies, me too. I can see changes happening within her too, and it's a beautiful thing. And not that we're doing this work for other people, sometimes we might be. We're really doing this work for ourselves and trying to put ourselves first. But the magicalness, the magicianness, the magicalness, definitely a word, of this stuff is how it impacts the world. Really, it impacts the world. Okay, so that is number 2. Now, number 3, the final stage, is activate. So what activate is is activating. It's doing the scary shit. It's becoming an expert at living your life authentically and with joy. And it's achieving things you previously thought were impossible. And it's having the ability to weather any storm. So why we do this? I like to think about it as the self-love mountain. Now, you've probably heard me talk about the self-love mountain before. Imagine if someone said to you, hey, climb Mount Kilimanjaro. And Mount Kilimanjaro is really big, obviously. And to say you've never climbed it before, you've never climbed even a hill before, you're going to be like, I can't do it. Obviously, you probably, you might die doing it. And so you are nervous, but then a guide comes along and says, hey, I'm going to do it with you. And so they bring the gear, they tell you what to do, they're with you every step of the way, and then you get to the top of the mountain successfully, and it's great. And you do it again with the guide and again with the guide, and then you might do it on your own, but with the guide on a walkie-talkie, and you will then become wiser, and you'll know, okay, we'll go this way because that way has a big crevasse. Make sure I take this equipment with me because it's really important that I have, oxygen and water, for example. And then finally, you are going to be able to do it totally unsupported, and even be able to take people with you, and you be their guide because you're so experienced at climbing this mountain. Now, that is what Activate is. It is starting to climb that mountain over and over and over again so that you are an expert at it, so that you know, okay, if we go this way, there's going to be a crevasse. If we go that way, it's steeper. If we go this way, it's easier to do. And read the weather and know, okay, so we're going to have a storm coming and this is how we deal with the storm. And if you stumble into a storm that you don't know was going to come, you're more prepared than if you were, the first time on the mountain. So that is what Activate is all about. It's becoming that self-assured person who is able to climb the self-love mountain on their own and even take others with them. So this is important because you won't always need help or reassurance from other people. It's important that you go it alone, right? Because it's not often that you're going to have someone who is able to support you all of the steps of the way. And you don't want that anyway. You want to be able to just go roam free. You don't want like a babysitter all the time, right? And confidence then will just become a part of who you are. And you can then fill your life with all the things that bring you happiness without constantly doubting if you look okay, or if you should lose weight, or if being fat is bad, or if your partner really thinks you're disgusting. You're just going to be that self-compassion filled, resilient, reassured person that knows that they can do it and knows, they're a human being. Sometimes shit hits the fan, but they can survive. Now, most people don't do this because it's kind of a catch-22. How can you do confident things if you don't feel confident? And so the catch is you just have to do the thing. You have to do the thing first, and then you become confident. And it's getting out of, remember, we're talking about the constant learner effect, constantly learning and trying to get confidence through learning when really you need to do the things. And so getting out of that catch-22 of, I don't feel confident to climb the mountain. Well, you just have to go and try, even if you're shitting your pants. But don't try in a way where, the first time you're on your own and you're just like, I'm just going to give it a try. I've got my flip-flops on. It's going to be amazing. Go in a supported way with a guide and make sure that it's not a traumatizing experience for you, because then you won't ever want to climb the mountain again. Also, people don't do this because they don't have the system to get to a place where they believe that they can do it. So you don't go to school and learn this stuff. No one is sharing the step one, how to do this, step two, of course I'm sharing it right now, but it's very rare, right? You can't just walk up to someone in the street and be like, tell me A to Z or Z, how to feel better in my body. There are steps, I've created steps, but they don't know that they need the steps. And also, most people don't do this because it's scary. It's really fucking scary. Really scary. And it's scary as well doing it alone. It's scary to be going against potentially people who are like, you can't climb that fucking mountain. And if you do, if you think you can, you are ridiculous. Like, who do you think you are? You shouldn't climb that mountain because this bad thing is going to happen. And to have the bravery to say, actually, do you know what? The way I'm doing things right now, it is not making me feel great. And to start to understand how to climb that mountain is very difficult and very, very, very brave. So most people, it's a struggle. It's a struggle, right? So, yeah. So a member of Fierce Fatty Academy who really embraced Activate shared this. So this is what she said. I attended the Self-Love Summit in London on Saturday on my own. That's the first thing. One of the speakers announced at the beginning of her talk that she was going to invite the audience of 400 plus to join her on stage at the end and take their clothes off and sing The One and Only by Chesney Hawkes. You know that song. I am the one and only. Brr, brr, no, I'd rather be. Yeah, you know that song. Continuing, I thought, no way, in capitals and exclamation marks. I had noticed a hole in my bra in the morning when I was in my hotel room, and I had some non-matching, light-coloured and quite loose knickers on, so no confidence-boosting underwear to hide behind. Anyway, when she invited us up, I decided to go. I was one of the first up on stage, so I had no idea if anyone else was coming. Actually, around 40 women went up, so I ended up being at the back. But I did it. I took my clothes off and sang The One and Only at the top of my voice. Thank you for the part you have played in my journey to get to this point. I was amazed at myself and still am. Now, this person who did this, Susie, she wasn't before going around taking her clothes off at conferences. No, she hated her body. She had been dieting for years and years and years. Susie, who was on the podcast, I don't know, maybe 10 episodes ago. This wasn't in her wheelhouse, but she did it. She did it. And now she's in that stage where she is helping others to do it with her business. And she would never have thought that that was possible for her. So confidence doesn't happen on its own. It's not like the heavens are going to open and then, a lightning bolt strikes you and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I feel amazing. Each of my students increased their self-esteem because they had a system in place. And they followed it, this system that I use in Fierce Fatty Academy. They are the steps. So number 1 is explore. Number 2 is unleash. And number 3 is activate. So why don't you use those steps? See if it helps you. See if it works for you. See if you can get to the summit of self-love mountain and how that feels for you. Okay, I hope that was interesting and impactful and you're able to implement those 3 steps. Now, if you want to work on loving your body more, then make sure that you check out the Fierce Fatty Vault, which is just a plethora of loving your fat body, finding peace with food, resources, help, guides, workbooks, videos. It's amazing. Oh my gosh. So it's free. Go to the link in the bio or wherever you're listening, or you can always go to fiercevalley.com/podcast to find out all the latest episodes. And a reminder that if you leave me a review, amazing, juicy, beautiful review, email me and I will send you a free copy, digital copy of my book, a digital and audio copy of my best-selling book, Fierce Fatty. All right. Well, I hope the audio was okay for you today, and I want to get my USB things fixed. Although, you know what? I don't want to give my laptop to get fixed, because I'm like, I don't watch TV. I watch like stuff on my laptop. I'm like, how can I go a day without watching stuff? And obviously I use it to work, which is more important, right? Maybe I can do it over the weekend and like actually do something with my day? ? All right. Okay. Thank you for hanging out today, and I will see you in the next episode. And stay fierce, fatty. See you later, crocodile. Goodbye.